If you are a huge XRP fan, then 2 days ago was a massive day. And that was the EVM compatibility going mainnet with XRPLedger. XRPLedger is a huge component of XRP and really is one of its key functions that brings a lot of projects and a lot of interest over to the XRP community. Well, in today's video, we're going to be looking at a DEX that is getting ready to go live on XRPLedger, the impact that it can have, and the future of XRPLedger with this EVM compatibility and what its potential could be. That said, if you're new here, my name is Alex. We talk about crypto news, crypto passive income. If you enjoy content like that, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, smash up the like. Without further ado, let's move to the video. Now, this overall accomplishment is pretty big for XRP because it was kind of like a missing link to a certain degree within its overall ecosystem. So the XRPL EVM sidechain going live unlocks a plethora of Ethereum dApps in the XRP ecosystem. It means a lot of opportunities coming over to XRPL, and that also means a lot of liquidity, which is pretty important, especially when it comes to DEXs. DEXs thrive on liquidity and need it to be able to survive and to be able to be profitable in order to provide traders a platform to be able to exchange on. Now, this overall update is, like I said, pretty substantial because EVM compatible smart contracts are going to be added in connection to XRPL. And this gives developers the access to an ecosystem at a low cost alongside of the pretty prominent payment infrastructure that is already existing within XRP. So it is kind of like a having your cake and eating it too type of situation where this is really a plus for both XRP, EVM compatible dApps, and the likes of XRPL. Now, with all of this combined, it kind of begs the question as to, with all this liquidity coming on chain, who is going to be one of the biggest benefactors? And that is the topic for today's video. And that is a DEX that is getting ready to go live on XRPL. Now, the likes of DeXRP is the first DEX that is built and designed for Ripple's XRPLedger. Now, there is one that is kind of already integrated within XRPLedger, but this is going to be a specific predominant DEX directly for the likes of XRPL. And with the overall mainnet launch just 2 days ago with the likes of the EVM compatibility with XRPLedger, this is going to really set the stage and the potential for the success of DXP in the future. Now, when you take a look at some of the big things that is going to be coming from a volume standpoint, because a DEX is great because there's a lot of opportunities, but if there's no volume, then really there's no point for a DEX. So when you look at all the volume that's getting ready to happen with these EVM compatible chains, that is the key to this lock. Now, the XRPLedger is built for business. It is the only major layer 1 blockchain that's built for business and designed specifically to power finance use cases and applications at scale. Powerful enough to bootstrap a new economy, fast, scalable, sustainable. Now, the biggest thing that a lot of people are focusing on and the biggest trend right now is on the institutional financial scale. That is including the likes of TradeFi. When you look at tokenization of stocks, stablecoins, business-minded assets are extremely popular right now. Now, imagine all of that being able to come over from an institutional and commercial side all over to XRPLedger, and trading being able to be done on DXP. So all of these things combined, when you have this type of trends, it's almost kind of like a perfect storm when it comes to XRPLedger and this EVM compatibility and the launch of DXP. It's kind of like a win-win-win-win for everyone. Now, when you take a look at what XRPLedger has the potential to do and has already done, this really just kind of gives it additional kind of superpowers, if you will, that it didn't have before. Anytime that there is oftentimes EVM compatibility built into a project, it just simply opens up a flood of potential liquidity and trading that comes onto the new chain. So when you take a look at XRPLedger, it has significant potential due to its unique architecture established infrastructure and ongoing development. There's a huge breakdown of all the pluses and positives for this, but the biggest thing that you have to understand is XRP is already a massive enough of a project and has already a massive enough of a community. Now, if Ripple continues to build and more devs adopt XRP tooling, especially after the EVM integration, which we said just occurred mainnet 2 days ago, XRP could become a major payment-focused layer one, especially in a multi-chain future. So this is absolutely huge, especially when payment systems is a huge trend and a huge focus, especially when it comes to the stablecoin issuance in the stablecoin market. Stablecoins have become extremely popularized, especially after the most recent IPO of Circle on the stock exchange. So there's a lot of attention, a lot of focus. And like I said, when you consider all these things together, it's almost a perfect storm, and it means a lot of potential for the likes of DXP. And like I said, when you combine these two, that is really where these superpowers kind of come together and provide something even much better. So this overall has a massive unlock, unparalleled potential for developers and users alike by bridging XRPL's high performance, cost efficiency with the programmability and flexibility of Ethereum's smart contract system. I'll leave a link to this down below so you can kind of understand what this means for the likes of XRPL, what it means for EVM compatibility, and the amounts of unlock of liquidity, almost like a tsunami essentially of liquidity coming over because of all that is already occurring on Ethereum. Ethereum is really a base layer. It's a layer one that almost everything is working on. When you have 51% of stablecoins on the Ethereum ecosystem, opening that up to the likes of XRPL is absolutely huge. So think of all the positives that's going to happen not only for XRPL, XRP, and more importantly, for a new up-and-coming project like DXP. So what is DXP, which is a token, DEXRP, which is DEX for XRP, as a next generation decentralized exchange powered by XRPLedger. Fast transactions, ultra low fees, deep liquidity to deliver institutional grade trading experiences for everyone from crypto newcomers to pro traders. And like I said, this is a huge plus, especially as you consider the EVM apps and dApps and applications, all those things that are getting ready to come on to a compatible XRP ledger now through EVM. And with all of this, the floodgates essentially opening up, you need to have a good DEX to be able to exchange, trade, and have the opportunity to be able to participate in some of the projects that are coming over. So having this, kind of like I said, as far as a perfect timing scenario, works really well for the likes of DXRP. I'll call it DXRP from now on. But some of the features, obviously, when you look at DEXs, there's a lot of popular DEXs. There are some that work really well. There are some that maybe not as ideal. A lot of DEXs initially launched as VC funded or via ICO. And so when you look at the approach of the likes of DXRP, it is going the ICO route. But some of the features that you will love and enjoy about what DXRP is bringing, instant settlements. One of the benefits of XRPL, the fast transactions is absolutely massive. Very low fees. That is native to the XRPL's design. Dual trading modes, use automatic market makers for quick swaps, order book for precise control, advanced order types. There's just a lot of really good pros when it comes to something like this. And having a dedicated DEX has a lot of potential when it comes to something like this. There's a lot of opportunity when it comes to the amount of liquidity that's coming over to be in a project that is dedicated to providing the type of liquidity that DXRP is going to be able to have for XRPLedger. Now, when you take a look at the tokenomics, because tokenomics are always important for a lot of these projects, you can see that is broken down pretty decently. Majority of it is going to the public sale and then to staking rewards. This is pretty important when you're looking at ICOs. There is also other ICOs we're going to be talking about that are coming up soon for the Caspa ecosystem. But when you take a look at what DXRP is doing, this amount and the rewards is a pretty decent overall amount. And you can see team and advisors getting 10%. And then there are going to be some airdrop and bounty opportunities. So no unlock at TGE. Vesting can adjust based on campaign on cadence. So there are going to be some airdrops and bounty programs. So maybe if you're not getting into the public sale, by participating within the ecosystem, you could be able to qualify for an airdrop down the road. So like I said, like you would see with most DEXs, there's a lot of really great things about what DeXRP is doing. Like I said, a lot of this is solely possible due to XRPLedger. And it's, like I said, a perfect storm when this is coming on the tail end, almost directly on the tail end of the EVM compatibility going mainnet. So like the saying goes, strike while the iron is hot, and that is exactly what DeXRP is doing. They do have a overall general roadmap as to what they are currently doing. They are doing, as I said ICO. This is an IDO, and this is going to be launching in Q3 of 2025, and the public launch itself is going to be just a couple of months away. So obviously, getting in early is a huge aspect of being into a lot of these projects super early. There's obviously going to be ways to stake to be able to increase your overall yield, and by being able to participate in the project, be able to potentially secure yourself an airdrop down the road. But when you take a look at the roadmap, obviously a lot of exciting things ahead for the likes of DeXRP. And when you take a look at what is coming over, it's going to be interesting, the volume and the dollar value of the liquidity that's going to be come over. I expect it's probably going to be hundreds of millions of dollars, considering the size of XRP itself and XRPLedger. It's probably going to be a substantial amount of liquidity. And with that, if there is an high interest of not only liquidity, but also trading, then it's just a win-win situation for the likes of DEXs, more specifically the one of DeXRP. Now, they do have a social media page, or Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that they go into some more details of what this looks like, some of the benefits of the IDO and what they're doing. So I highly recommend that you go and check it out. I'll leave a link to this down below so you can do that as well. But I think overall, there's a lot of big things when it comes to EVM compatibility and what it unlocks. We're going to see what how that impacts, Caspa when Iker Labs provides the EVM compatibility. That is going to be huge. That's going to unlock a ton of opportunity for the likes of Caspa. If you're a huge XRP fan and a fan of XRPLedger, this EVM compatibility already going mainnet is absolutely huge. And obviously projects like DeXRP, who are building out DEXs to be able to take advantage of that liquidity influx, they are going to be obvious clear winners in situations like those. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this EVM compatibility for XRPLedger. What are your thoughts on that moving forward? What are your thoughts on XRP moving forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, smash up the like. Enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, stay invested.